Hello, welcome back to my channel, watchers of thrillers and etc. So today I want to talk about Cruel Summer. Now, at the end of my Big Sky video, like a lot of the people that subscribe to my channel found me via my Big Sky reviews, and also the what is the show on HBO? Not Big Little Lies. Whatever the other show was. Anyway, hold on. What was the other? Now it's bothering me. With Nicole Kidman, the other show that I talked about on here. The Undoing, whatever. The name is so random, I couldn't remember. Okay, but the point is, today we're going to have like a little chatty patty video. I literally binge watched all 6 episodes in like the last 2 days. It's so good. It's so much better. It's so much better than Big Sky, and it's so much better than, I also like was worried that it was going to be like Pretty Little Liars. I don't know if you guys liked that show, but back in the day I used to watch it. I watched like the first 3.5 seasons. I was like 3.5, 4 seasons. But after that, I was just like, I'm tapping out. Like, like this can't go on forever. Like, and I just feel like this show feels like it should be a mini series. So I'm kind of curious. It's a series. Hold on, I didn't do my research clearly. It's a series, but it doesn't say that it's a mini series. It was shot in Texas. Well, anyway. So, if you don't know, Cruel Summer is about the 2 girls. One of the girls gets kidnapped by the new school principal that comes in. I hope that's not too big of a spoiler. I don't think that's that big of a spoiler. Like, if you see the trailer, it says like all this kind of stuff. One of the girls gets kidnapped, and the other girl takes her place in the social dynamics in their like little teen world. And the girl who gets kidnapped gets freed, and she comes out and sees this and says, this girl took over my life. And she accuses her of, seeing her going into the house and then leaving her there and not getting authorities or not getting help. And like, that's like failure to report, obviously a crime. So that's the basic premise of the whole show. I mean, if you're watching this, we're 6 episodes in. I hope that you have seen the show. My description was a little spoilery, but I think that comes out in like the first episode, so it's not that big of a spoiler. I will be discussing spoilers in general. If you want to know if I suggest to watch it, I say watch it. I think it's really good. It has me going. I feel like it's realistic enough to be grounded, but also like unexpected enough to be interesting, and like the twists kind of make sense. The twists and turns of the story make sense. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is, who do we believe? And this show kind of plays on your own biases, because my bias is that like I don't believe Kate. I think that we're all biased against someone like Kate. Like, she's almost like always portrayed in our culture, or maybe if you even knew girls like Kate who were kind of like the mean girl who's popular, but she's never actually shown being mean. She has like, listen, so Mallory says something nasty about Kate. Mallory says the first Kate Wallace wasn't that great to begin with, but like now she's friends with her, so I think that's interesting. But it's like, is Kate misunderstood, and Jeanette is kind of almost like the female version of like, you know how like when male nerds sometimes are seen as too innocent and then they're actually like evil? Like, you know what I'm talking about. But she's like the female, is she the female version of that? Is she evil? This is my interpretation. Other than my bias against Kate and her mom. Don't get me started on the mom. Well, the mom is actually awful, but moving on. Jeanette seems like she's innocent. Like, I think that it plays on your bias, because of course, I think most of us will see that Jeanette and her friend group seem more like the every man, like the kind of average kids, like that you could probably relate to much more than Kate. So I definitely don't relate to the Kate character as much, and that's again, I'm repeating myself, the bias. And Jeanette seems like she was, let me look at my little notes. She seems like she was trying to find herself. And this is where she got mixed up in it, because she was like addicted to this like adrenaline rush she was getting from breaking into the house and stealing and all this kind of stuff, where she was like getting into this adrenaline rush of like sneaking around and almost getting caught but not getting caught and all this kind of stuff, and it made her seem guilty. And it's interesting because it's like it layers like the kind of thing that wouldn't be totally out of place and inappropriate for someone her age to like be experimenting and trying to find themselves and maybe like messing up and doing stuff that's silly, trying to have some sort of little sense of power as a teen. And it takes that normalcy and then flips it on his head and makes her why she looks suspicious to everyone in the town now. Okay. And then here again, this is my notes. This might be biased again on my part, but I think Kate seems very vengeful. Like, she seems like she's angry about what happened. She comes out and she's not like the typical like crying victim. Like, she's angry. She's like, I'm not gonna be your like sweet little blonde Barbie daughter anymore. I'm telling it like I see it. I'm calling out everybody, their hypocrisy. I want revenge. Like, she doesn't want solace, really. She wants revenge. And I think that the people in her life are being very shitty at helping her cope. So then like it kind of makes sense that she's like taking it out on people. And that's where you kind of feel like, well, like, is she being honest, or does she just want revenge over what happened to her? Or, and this is the thing that I think is lingering in the back of a lot of our minds, is that Jeanette did come in and out of the house a lot. Maybe she came in and out of the house, but she never actually saw Kate. And like, Kate just saw her leaving and was like, she saw me and left. But then, like she says, and this again, it's my bias. Why? When Kate has literally verbatim told us, the audience, no, we made eye contact. It's like, I don't believe her until they show a flashback of it. Like, why don't I believe her? That's another question. Like, what makes me question her veracity? Just because she's angry? Okay, not everyone is a weeping willow. Like, maybe she's just mad. I don't know what to say. This is like what keeps you going. It's a good mystery because it's like, who do we believe? Okay. And I think like I said, it layers normal teenage problems with the dynamics of the mystery. So, well, like the mystery or the central question of the show is like, who do you believe? And Mallory and Jeanette butting heads, they like play that out really well. They like play out the layers of it. Like, I think in a lot of shows, it's like a trope that like the main character is like the normal girl, and then like her ex-best friend is now the lead, you know, popular girl. And like, how does that happen? Like, they actually like go into the layers of like how Mallory and Jeanette kind of disagreed and argued, and like they wanted to like, I don't feel like they wanted to have control over the friend group, but I almost feel like Jeanette, it's interesting to me because Jeanette wasn't actually anti a lot of the things Mallory was saying. Like, she secretly kept some of the weed. She went down for the stealing thing. Like, so she's not really against a lot of the things that Mallory wants to do, but it almost seems like she's butting heads with her because she feels like Mallory is like the dominant personality of their like little trio, and she like feels like she's not getting a vote. So sometimes, even if you would agree, you just want to be asked. Like, you don't want to be saying like, okay, number 13 is we're gonna steal and everyone's gonna do it because I said so. Like, you want to feel like we all agree, we all voted. I don't know. I think that's part of Jeanette's problem. And then it layers in the parents getting divorced. And the parents getting divorced was partly influenced by the main mystery and the main conflict, but it's also just because the parents, you know, had their own conflict in their marriage and disagreements, and the mom wants to go off and become a flight attendant. I guess that's what she did, and I guess that's where she is throughout the show. And I don't know where, because I'm like, where is the mom at? One thing I noted is that the brother and the mother look the same age. LOL. Just in that one scene where he's like in the backpacking, I'm like, he looks grown and she looks super youthful. Like,
They both look 27. Like, I don't know. I don't know. She looks like 33 and he looks like 28. Like, I don't know. Anyway, what's your opinion on the mom? Again, what's your opinion on the mom? Like, I feel like it was like she didn't realize, it didn't get to the point where it was like a legal charge. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like she kind of abandoned Jeanette. But on the other end of the spectrum, I kind of feel like she wanted to find herself, and maybe this is something she's been thinking for a while. I don't know. I feel like a part of me feels like she felt the need to jump ship at this time because she felt like if I get bogged down in the muck and the mire of whatever this situation is about to blow up and my husband is not even like listening to me and I'm just gonna get like drowned in the situation and I won't have enough of a voice to vote and redirect like the conversation and the path of our family onto the right path. And like I might as well just go and do my own thing. Feel like that's partly why, but I also kind of feel like, I don't know. I feel like she should be trying harder to reach back to Jeanette when she's not working. But she starts off like a wannabe, and I feel like it's interesting because they layer her like the characters are very layered. So she starts off kind of like trying to suck up to the rich mom and trying to push Jeanette to be like, fit in, Jeanette, and be popular. You have the good genes for me, blah blah blah. And like I think that she kind of starts off like that, all flawed, and you're like, ew, don't do that. Like, don't push her, like, let your daughter be herself. Don't push her to wear contacts. Like, you know, don't, you know, let her be herself. But then, like, as she's trying to go and have her career as a flight attendant, you kind of see, like, oh, like, was pushing her daughter because it was misplaced energy. She needed to place that energy into a career, into developing herself, instead of pushing her daughter to be something. So I think that it makes sense. It makes sense. It's weird to watch something that makes sense. It's weird to watch a show that makes sense. So it was like, my question was, do you guys think it's fair that the mom left? Do you think she abandoned Jeanette? And does she have a point about everything? I think she kind of has a point. She kind of has a point. That's my whole thoughts on the show. I think it's really, really good so far. I'm excited. There's like 4 more episodes. New episodes coming on tonight. And I will be watching. Hope you guys will be too.